So Patrick, what do you think?
I like Hellraiser. I think it's a good movie. I don't love it, although it is a movie that I enjoy a little bit more just about every new time I see it. Although I will say, and this is not a knock against the movie's quality, but I've probably fallen asleep to this movie more than any other movie. But that's just because it's been on Shudder since I've had Shudder, so I'll just throw it on when I'm going to bed. Anyway, that's by no means a knock against the quality of the movie, but yeah, I mean it's good. I don't, like I said, I don't love it. There's a lot of I don't really like anything pretty much in the storytelling. It's kind of neat. I mean, visually, the makeup effects, the special effects and stuff is fantastic. There's a lot of creativity involved, and the score is fantastic. Those aspects of it I really appreciate.
I really enjoyed watching it. You and I spoke briefly before recording.
Oh yeah, you mentioned you had seen this on TV, and I'm like, oh, then you haven't seen it. If you saw it edited for television, I can't imagine there's a TV edit out there that does this movie justice because of how violent and bloody it is. The
2 times I've seen this has been on AMC around Halloween. Yeah, there was definitely some pieces missing, but so I got to experience Hellraiser in its full glory. And I really enjoyed it, but I completely agree with you. I like the score, the effects, except for the upside down scorpion. He's the worst.
I mean, he's enjoyable in a different
Well, yeah, he's neat to look at. But,
I mean, he belongs in a David Dakota movie.
But yeah, for me, the movie really falters with the plot because there's just so many unanswered questions and confusing points to it, and it just really goes downhill in the last 10 minutes when Kirsten is escaping.
Well, the last 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I will tell you, I forgot that homeless man turned into a flying devil demon.
Just turned into Satan or whatever he's supposed to be.
I know. I was surprised by that.
I still don't know how to feel about that particular scene. I don't know if I love it or if I hate it because it's weird. It's out there and it's incredibly silly. Clive Barker was very smart to not leave the camera on that flying skeleton for too long. In fact, you don't even see it fly because when we cut to it flying, it's shot from its point of view, so the camera's going away from them. And that is a clever way to get around just how ridiculous that thing looks.
Yeah. I think there are some, minor issues with the plot, but for Clive Barker's first movie as a director, this is pretty great. Kudos to him.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not too passionate about it one way or the other. I think it is pretty good. I feel like with this movie, kind of similarly to how I feel with Alien, it's a horror classic, undisputed. I'm not about to argue that, but it's not my favorite movie,
Yeah.
Although I probably enjoy this a little bit more than Alien.
Really?
Well, yeah, because, here's the thing. If I had seen Alien nearly as many times as I've seen Hellraiser, that would be the movie I've fallen asleep during the most.
I was about to say, yeah.
It might be the only Hellraiser movie worth watching. I've seen them all. First of all, we're going to kind of wrap up this Hellraiser discussion on me saying I hate the Hellraiser franchise. I do like this movie, again, but this is the lamest franchise. It's been direct-to-video since movie 5, so 6 of the 10 movies are direct-to-video. So, that's not a great sign right there. It's just, it's Hellraiser 3 is pure schlock, so that's kind of good. Hellraiser 3 is kind of the slasher movie of the Hellraiser movie, so that it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. And then Hellraiser Inferno, I think, is the Scott Derrickson one. That's the clearly repurposed script. That movie's okay. Everything else is sucks. Hellraiser 4 is Hellraiser in space. And that's not very good. And Hellbound Hellraiser 2, a lot of people like. I'm not really a fan of it, but I guess I get why people... That movie feels similar enough to the original Hellraiser that it's not a complete waste of my time, but I'm just not the biggest fan of it.
Anybody out there listening, I guess you can take the Hellraiser franchise at Patrick's word. The first one's worth watching, the rest are shit, so...
A sentiment which I will repeat when we get to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, almost verbatim, because that one too, the second one, a lot of people like that, and I'm just it's not for me. Although, actually, I want to say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake was okay. It's not bad. Hell, even the most recent, the Leatherface prequel that nobody asked for, actually isn't that bad of a movie.
When did that come out?
2017.
What?
It was like the
Hold on.
biggest flop of the year, I want to say.
What? I missed this. How did that come out?
Yeah, I never even heard it was coming out. I think whoever released it was like, oh, no one's going to see this, so we're not just going to put. I think it was released basically as like, we're going to lose money on this, so we're not going to put anything into advertising because then we'll just lose more money.
But if they had released it as like a Cloverfield movie, then I'm sure some people would have gone to see it.
Oh yeah, Cloverfield and their fraudulent sequels.